welcome to the Swoonsisters Society, the podcast where two sisters talk about the swooniest moments in books, movies, TV shows, and
real life. I'm Katie.
I'm Laura. Am I in a grumpy sunshine relationship? Am I the grumpy?
No, you're in a grumpy relationship.
He gets like this space. It's in a vault. That's like the vibe of the club. It's very vaulty. Like it's giving Gringotts. Episode 4. We're here in person.
Woo!
For KingofSloth.
Oh my gosh.
Sister Society.
Yes, KingofSloth. Definitely the sexiest title of any of these billionaire series books. We have King of Greed, King of Wrath, King of Pride, and King of Sloth. Like when I tell you, I just imagine the man that looked like Sid the Sloth from Ice Age. And
overview of the book, Katie.
Javier Castillo exudes charm, relaxed vibes, and unimaginable wealth, honey. Giving him the world at his disposal. Despite his father's wishes, he has no desire to inherit the family business. Yet women flock to him. Except for one notable exception. His publicist, yes, Sloane Kensington, on the other hand, is composed, brilliant, driven, a little bit of a workaholic, I will say, and accustomed to handling demanding clients, none testing her patience or tempting her, more than the billionaire heir with his disarming smile and carefree demeanor. Also, the fact that the whole time I've been calling him Javier and Laura has been calling him...
I read it, I didn't listen to it, and so, yeah, and it's with an X, so yeah, I've been calling him Xavier.
The whole time I thought it was with a J, and I was like, when I saw, like, edits of them, like, together and stuff, and the little pictures on Instagram, and I saw it spelled Xavier, I was like, what? Javier? My man? Javier? Is that him? Honestly, like... This book surprised me so much.
Really?
Yes.
Well, first of all, I mean, it's like what you said, KingofSloth. Like, who's excited to read about?
I don't really care, but we're 4 books deep now. Like, I'm gonna read it.
Yeah, no, we gotta finish it. We gotta get through the 7 deadly sins. Like, we're doing it.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Honestly, you know what's funny? It's like, I didn't know she was doing the 7 deadly sins because I thought it was just going to be a book with the 4 friends. You know? Like, once they round out the friend group, we're done.
Which is, like, kind of confusing, because, like, the friend group has been the core of the whole thing. Like, the same thing with, those Ali Hazelwood books, did you read those? Loath to Love You, the miniseries?
No.
Okay, but it's, like, the same idea. Like, it's, like, a group of friends, and each friend gets their own love story. Same thing with, like, Bridgerton or whatever.
I mean, Twisted series by the same author. AnaHuang.
Yes!
Literally.
Oh my god, wait, literally Twisted series.
Like, and when you're on the last friend, it rounds out the entire series. So I'm just like, wait, so now are we moving away from the friends?
Yeah.
Which is like...
Actually, we are.
Even the men aren't going to be friends anymore. Well, now, in this book, I felt like we were a little... I've always felt very distant from Sloane in the other books, but in this book, I was like, even her man is, like, not friends with the other guys. You know what I mean? Because the other 3 men, they're friends. They hang out all the time. And, like, Sloane's guy doesn't. So, like, they're already a little removed from the group.
Yeah, I think the group is, like, expanding, though, as well.
It feels that way after reading this book. But, like, at the beginning of the book, I was a little bit worried because I was like, ooh, like, what's going to happen? But, yeah, it feels like the group is expanding. And, well, Xavier... I'm going to call him Xavier this whole... Is it really Javier?
Girl, it's whatever you want it to be.
No, but like when you're listening to an audiobook, they say Javier.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that.
What? Javier is so much... Honestly, they're both sexy names to me. I'm like, I'll take either one. Okay. I'll take either one.
Okay, fine. I guess it's just because I was reading Xavier in my head the whole book.
I get you.
You know?
And it's like those X names, like Zayden.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one.
No, it's a Reese Rice thing. Were you a Reese or a Rice?
I was Rice.
So was I.
I was Rice.
So was I.
When I found out that it was Reese, I was like, what? No, that's not my baby. That's not my honey bun.
I was like, Reese? Like Reese's Pieces? Like, what are we doing?
Me too.
It's okay.
I want to hear your rating first.
Damn. Okay. Oh my God. I'm going to do a 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to give this book a 3. I liked it more than a 3, but I gave KingofWrath a 4, and KingofWrath I still like better. I loved everything in this book. It's a He Falls First, which...
That's my favorite.
It's like one of my favorites.
Yeah,
it's
me
so
too.
cute. So I love that. I love that it's like, it's Grumpy Sunshine. I actually like relate a lot to Sloane a little bit.
Yeah.
In certain ways. Wait, really? Oh my god. Am I in a Grumpy Sunshine relationship? Am I the grumpy?
No, you're in a grumpy relationship. No, but like,
wait, and are you in a sunshine?
Wait, I am.
You are.
How did this happen to
Girl,
us?
I don't know.
Oh my god. Honestly, both our relationships are fire though.
Damn.
We work.
But,
Yes.
but it is grumpy.
Okay, you know what? But you're grumpy, but you bring out the sunshine in each other.
Aww. I don't want to say the same for you, because that's not nice.
We're sunshine, and we bring...
No, not good. You're sunshine, and you shine extra brightly together.
That's so sweet, Laura. Wait, that's actually so sweet. What are we talking about?
I relate to Sloane, and you were very quick to tell me I was right.
Okay, it's because...
No, honestly, I'm not even going to take offense to it. I was reading the book, and I was just like, damn. Same.
I feel like she's a fixer.
Yes.
She's a problem solver.
No, literally.
But she also, like... She's like, I have my vision for how I need my problem to be solved and for how this is going to go right now, and you're coming along with my vision. Like,
yeah.
She's the boss.
And you have no choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is the boss, and yeah, it just felt very relatable to me. And the fact that she watches rom-coms and critiques every little thing in the rom-com, like, literally
It's
me.
literally you.
Yeah, like, literally me.
There's sometimes when I'm like, I can't show you anything.
I know. I'm a party pooper. Like, what was that movie that you just made me watch that I like? I literally...
It was Nicholas Sparks, The Choice. It was so bad. And you were like, is it sad? And I was like, no.
Anyway, so yeah, very relatable with Sloane. Rating 3.5. I almost want to give it a 4. I almost would get... You know what it is? Is that I've only read it once, and I'm usually like a... Damn, because I think I have to give it a 4. I am going to go back and read it. I didn't do that with King of Greed or King of Pride, but I did it with KingofWrath. I think I have to give it a 4. I'm going to give it a 4. Go ahead.
4. I loved it. I thought this was going to be one of those books where I'm like, okay, I read so many of the series, like, I'm going to read it, like, and... I loved it. I loved Javier.
Oh my god.
I thought he was such a great book boyfriend. Like, I did not expect it from him because, like, the whole, like lazy thing and, like, party guy and, like, player thing, I'm like, oh, it's so played out. Like, not my type at all. Like, whatever. Like, and then He Falls First, and he's, like, so caring about her and so loving and just so sweet and actually thoughtful.
Yeah.
That I fell in love. I really liked this book. I liked all the little, and again, it's like those little displays of love. Like, I just appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
And I think I appreciated it even more because I thought I knew what to expect, and it gave me something I didn't expect.
Yeah. Yes. Agreed. All right. We're moving into spoilers now, because I want to say something.
Okay.
I think that it was so smart on the author's part, and I don't know if she did this on purpose or it just worked. She probably did do it on purpose now that I'm thinking about it. But, like, the fact that this book was written when Sloane and Xavier already had a very established relationship, her publicist, him, this party guy, they needed that, because you're right. I didn't want to read about a partier getting out of that phase. And I feel like at the point in time that we find them in the book, like, they've been known each other for 2 years. He knows how Sloane works. He knows how she is. He's like, he knows that she means business, and he's already starting to fall for her. Like, literally in the first 2 chapters, he's like, oh my God, I wrote it down. I have like and it's from one of the first chapters. Look, okay. This, I think it's like his second chapter. She could no more blend into a crowd than a jewel could blend into mud. Like, he notices her from the beginning, and it's because it's not the beginning for them. It's the beginning for us, but it's not for them. And I actually really like that.
That's what I loved so much about it, is because in the past books, like we've seen him be the annoying celebrity jerk stereotype guy. We've seen him, you know, be in bars with her and like being annoying, and like we've seen their build up from afar, and like we know how this story plays out. We've seen other movies before, so we get it at the start of their actual romance, and like that's perfect. Like I don't need all the backstory and like the whole thing.
Yeah.
So the way that the book starts, already they're at a point where she's been working with him for a while. We don't have to go through their introductions. We don't have to do the stuff. She's annoyed with him. He's whatever. And
she's very comfortable with him already.
She's very comfortable with him.
Yeah.
So she's trying to get him to go to this like gala that's on behalf of his dad, because his dad's very sick, and like basically his dad's dying. Yeah. He's in some foreign country. I forget where he is.
Greece.
I think he's in Greece or something. Yeah, he's in Greece.
Yeah.
And he's just like not getting out of bed, and she's like, okay, I'll make a deal with you. You come with me right now.
Oh yeah.
Or they make a deal together where he goes with her to this gala, and then she has to take a vacation with him.
Yeah.
No work, and she's a total workaholic.
Yeah.
So
and he literally thinks to himself, like, oh, I've been dying to get her away. It's like, boy, why? Like,
yeah, for real.
Yeah.
So he takes her on the vacation.
Yeah.
What'd you think of like that whole thing?
Oh my God. Like, stop. First of all, you already know. This is one of the things I love about her. You can tell that he's from a traumatic past. She's from a traumatic past. There's drama in the families. Love. Like, right off rip. Love it. Then they go, and she sees her sister, and that whole thing. Like, I knew that was going to come back. And then they go to Greece. Okay. Loved every minute of them in Greece. First of all, 2 moments while they're in Greece that he interrupts her while she's dancing with someone. 2.
Yeah.
Did you notice that it happened twice?
Oh, AnaHuang loves to do this. She loves to do a dancing and interruption sequence. She loves to do an annoying ex, and she loves to give a nickname that the main love interest calls each other.
Every book.
Every single book.
No, every book. Every book. And this one is one of my favorites.
It's actually so good.
Like Luna.
I know.
I love it.
Okay, honestly, like it was kind of ruined for me because Luna was the name of this crusty dog that I knew. So
I like it.
No, it is sweet.
It's
and
so
like
cute.
The reveal for the reason of the nickname that comes at the end is really good.
Yeah.
It was good. It was my favorite, you know, like that ending scene where like they have to be like, I love you, and whatever, the big ending moment. This was my favorite one of all these books so far. So I'm so excited to get there. But yes, the trip that they go on at the beginning of the book, who is there but
Luca.
And
And he broke up with Leaf. Poor
Luca and Leaf.
Luca depressed.
If Leaf couldn't make it work, then I don't believe in love. I don't.
No, and like Luca's just depressed, and oh my God, like the whole thing of like him wanting to hook up with Sloane and Xavier getting all upset about it. It's so cute. One of the things too that I loved, and it happens a lot on their Greece trip, and it happens a lot in this book in general until they both like realize that they love each other, is that like Xavier like will touch her, or she'll touch Xavier, and he'll be like, oh, Sloane touched my arm. I have a feeling in my stomach. I must have eaten something bad. It's like bro, they're like rationalizing everything. Like Xavier touches Sloane and she's like, oh, my skin heated. Should have put more sunscreen on today.
Wait, why is it reminding me of how Sarah J. Maas always says, like, my bowels turned watery?
Bro.
But yeah, also, like, Like, nobody thinks like that. Like, you know if you like somebody. I'm sorry. Like, come on, you know why you're freaking out right now. You just don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I think Xavier admits it a little more, but, like, Sloane in her head, like, I think she's just such a professional. She doesn't want to go there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I love the part in Greece then where, like, they're having that party and then Sloane shows up and then she's dancing with Luca and that's when Xavier comes in.
Yeah.
This is the first time he comes in and interrupts the dance. And he basically tells Luca, you know, you got to go away because you're drunk. Go away. And then he tells Sloane he's going to teach her how to dance.
Yeah.
And while he's doing that, he calls her an ice queen. Do you remember that?
And yeah, and that's like her trauma.
Yes, and she leaves, and then he thinks like she got mad because he told her she wasn't a good dancer, when that's not it at all. Then the next day he's somewhere, and while he's like out at whatever party he's at, you can tell like he misses Sloane. Like he doesn't even want to be there. So he goes back, and she's watching a rom-com.
Yeah.
So cute, and they end up watching it together.
I loved this part. Like, this... Because you don't understand. Like, I think that's, like, the funnest, most cutest activity is just, like, chilling, watching movies with your love, you know, relaxing. And that's what they do. And they just get some time to, like, just rest around each other and just enjoy.
It's really cute. And one of the funniest things, like, this book, actually, there were a couple of parts where I actually laughed out loud. And that scene was one of them because, he's basically asking her, he's like, oh, you critique these movies? And she's like, yeah, I have a whole notebook. Which is something I would do.
Yeah.
And when she tells him, he's like, oh, what is the critique for this movie? And she goes, well, the main characters don't have any chemistry. I have more chemistry with my bedroom lamp than these characters have with each other. And Xavier goes, what are you doing with your bedroom lamp?
Can I tell you another part of this movie that made me laugh?
Book.
Can I tell you another part of this book that made me laugh?
Yeah.
Isabella literally is taught, like, from the last book, King of Pride, the 2 books ago, she's reading another dinosaur. Did you remember that? She's reading another dinosaur erotica.
Yeah.
And it's called, like,
pterodactyl something or other.
Yes.
So it's a human and a pterodactyl.
I don't
It
understand.
was definitely called something like, I remember that part that you're talking about now, like my pterodactyl lover or something. There was a lot of like laugh out loud moments in this book.
was.
Yeah, it was. Oh, then they're on the trip. I forget what happens that triggers Sloane that she wants to go out and get drunk the night. What happens? I think is that when she finds out that her sister is pregnant? Like her dad emails her and tells her your sister's pregnant. Yeah, because she gets upset and that's why she goes out to the bar. Because she finds out her sister is pregnant, she's like super upset and goes out to the club and gets like, Xavier's already there, getting drunk or hanging out with people, whatever. Luca's there too. And she starts taking shots and starts dancing on the table. And the minute a guy comes up to her and even touches her, Xavier's like, no. And runs across the hall or the, club, whatever, and like tears her down from the table. Like rips her down and like carries her. I think he carries her like this style out, it was a good one.
I know. Isn't that giving 10 Things I Hate About You just a little bit?
Oh my God. Literally.
Except that she actually hurts her head in that movie.
And that's why he had to carry her out.
And he carries her out. But like same vibes. He's taking care of her. Okay?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yes, I remember that.
Super cute.
Yeah, then they get called back to his dad. Am I skipping anything?
No, literally they get called back to his dad right after that because when he pulls her out, they have like that moment outside where he's like talking to her and it's a very intense moment. And then he gets a call in that moment and he gets a call, he ignores it, and then she gets a call and she answers it and it's the call for his dad.
Yeah.
So they have to leave right away. They go to his dad is dying. You can kind of tell that he has like a really rocky relationship with his dad and that something happened with his mom. At this point you don't really know kind of what it is yet. But yeah, he's got definite daddy issues. So they're back in Columbia. For some reason Sloane stays in the house. Is that normal for a publicist?
I don't know, but okay. I'm like, the publicist is going with him to Columbia, to his family home.
Yes.
While his dad's dying. I don't think that's normal.
They do say something about her working on the press release while she's there.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's going to be like madness when it comes out that he's dead. But I think she could have done that remotely.
She could have done it remotely. Let's be real.
But I don't know why. But this is part of the other reason that I'm saying I think we're seeing them in a moment in time where, like, she's the only constant in his life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, you know when two people, like, see each other all the time and it's like, it's secretly because they, it's like their routine. Like, they want to see each other.
Yeah,
like,
I think we caught these people in a moment where, like, they're already each other's, like, only person. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Like, because it felt natural for her to go with him, for her to be there. She was the only one he would talk to, and that he would, like, she's the only one who made him feel comfortable while he was there dealing with his dad.
Yeah.
And it's not because she's his new publicist that he just met. She's been his publicist for 2 years, and they've known each other for 2 years. And so it was, like, kind of interesting. I'm not used to that in a book. It was cute.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like also she's working for his family, not him directly. So I feel like he feels like she was just this, like, when he first meets her, he feels like she's just this nuisance, this, like, person that, like, has to be with him because of his family. And then he just gets super comfortable with her presence there and being there. Like, he doesn't feel that, like, work relationship because that's not who he is. He's the king of sloth, honey. He's like, woo woo party. So
I love that they made him the king of sloth, but he's really not just a woo woo party guy. Like, he's mad smart.
well, we find out the reason that he's so woo woo party is because he has trauma and he's afraid of failure, and he's afraid that if he tries anything, somebody's gonna get hurt, and he's, you know, it's his coping mechanism at the end of the day.
Right. They're there. I don't think, like, much doesn't really happen in Colombia other than, like, you really learn kind of, like, this dynamic between him and his dad, and that the family kind of sucks. Like, they all just want the money. Sloan is really, really there for him. Like, even he's disappeared, like, after the dad actually dies, he's, like, disappeared in his room for days, and, like, Sloan is the one that goes in there and gets him. This is before the dad dies, sorry. But she's the one that goes in there and gets him. And once the dad dies, then they read the will. And basically, like, no one's getting anything.
Yep.
Pretty much. Like, I think he gave a house to the aunt, who was, like, mad greedy. And
she was mad greedy.
She was mad greedy. She was being crazy.
I know.
Like, I was reading that and I'm like, who is this lady? Like, she's telling Xavier, like, you just want to live off your father's money. And then they give her the house and she says something like, just the house? I'm like, girl.
The audacity.
So they read the will. Other than that house to that aunt, everything is going to go to Xavier if he can be CEO, and if after 6 months a panel of people decide that he has succeeded in his position as CEO and he can have the money.
Which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
I have read another book where this happens.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
What book?
It's in the Dreamland Billionaire series.
Oh,
and it's literally the same situation. There's a will and there's a panel, and the panel will decide if the person gets the money or not.
really?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, another series was the same plot point. But in this series, they find out that the panel is made up of Sloan is one of them.
Which is like, what?
I don't know. The dad knew, but this is what I'm
But the
saying.
dad
like,
hired her. It makes
not
sense.
only did the dad hire her, the dad has watched them work together for 2 years and probably had reports back from Sloan. Like, I think it's very important that this book took place 2 years after they met.
So important.
Yeah, like,
it would
there's a
not
lot.
have worked otherwise.
No, or it would have just been, like, really annoying to read the build-up because Xavier probably really hated her, like, not in a good way. So, and I'm glad we're catching him at the end of his sloth era.
Oh my god, me
I
too.
did not want to see that.
No, his sloth wasn't that bad. Like,
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. Okay.
Well, it was a 2-year sloth period, but we're catching at the end of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's Sloan, it's the uncle, the greedy wife's husband, and the current CEO of the company, of the dad's company. And then Dante Russo.
I know.
What the?
What?
Why?
She just dropped that Easter egg. She's like Taylor Swift. Oh, by the way, he's in his Sloth era, but guess what? I'm in my auntie era. We're both in our auntie eras because our sister got pregnant.
We're gonna be aunties.
That's our cups. Okay, anyways, moving on. And I mentioned Taylor Swift, so I just had to add that in there. But
yeah, so Dante Russo, it's like, okay, cool.
I know.
I mean, I guess I get it. He's one of the most successful CEOs
yeah.
in the world.
Yeah.
So I get it. But like, what? What are the chances that it's such a connection?
It's just because
anyway,
her world, it's like her world. She's like, where can I, like, taking everybody from my other books as much as I can, which honestly,
this book had
respect, girl. You got a lot of books.
Not only respect, but this book had probably the most Easter eggs I've seen.
It felt like a finale to me, right? Like just the connections that were being made and like the people getting together and hanging out and like giving advice to each other. It was so giving finale, but I mean, I'm glad it's not. I'm glad there's gonna be more.
I'm glad it's not, but also, like, are you bringing these characters back more? Like, I would love that.
Me too.
Would love that. Anyway, so they're on the committee. So then Xavier has pretty much decided that he's not going to be CEO and he's just gonna like not inherit the money. He'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. And Sloane realizes that in the will, it doesn't say you have to be CEO of your dad's company. It just says you have to be CEO. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Xavier has the trauma with his dad, so he wonders if it's like a oversight on his dad's part or if his dad put that in there on purpose. So anyway, I think that's like all the important stuff that happens in Columbia before they go back to New York. Mm-hmm. Do you agree?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay,
so then they're back in New York. And Xavier is trying to think about what he's going to do, right?
Yes.
We like the New York part.
Yes.
I think he finally decides he's going to open a club. Mm-hmm. And maybe I'm skipping, but he's in the library and he tells Sloane about his idea.
Yeah, or I think, does she come up with the idea? And he's like, oh, I love that. And then he gets excited about it? Or is him that comes up with it?
I think maybe he comes up with it. Mm-hmm. And it just shows you that, like, they're just a good team already. They just got this flow, you know? Even, like, before we met them, like, they just have a flow.
Yeah.
I love that.
And they're in the library.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, talking about...
business.
The business. And then all of a sudden, like, he says something and she just says, like, I'm glad. And you could tell, like, she's, like, actually, like, sees the potential in him. And then, like, she's, like... just happy for a moment and they both get quiet, which I love, like, because I could just see it. Like, I could just see, like, them both talking about stuff and then, like you know, when, like, you're on a date or something, you're, like, talking and then it gets quiet. You're just, like...
The tension is
I
there.
know, the tension.
The tension.
The tension is so good.
Yeah.
And then he's, like... He tells her, you should leave. Because he knows that he can't control himself. And she says, why? And then he says, fuck. And then he kisses her. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good.
I like it. And of course, Sloane wouldn't be Sloane if she didn't flee right after.
Right?
She literally
No, they had to go through the, it's a terrible idea. Oh, we shouldn't have done that. Like, they have to go through it. Like, we know they're going to go through that.
We shouldn't have done it. Yeah. But it was so good. But I shouldn't have done it. If there's one thing I know for sure, it is that Sloane Kensington is attracted to Xavier Castillo. Do you sometimes, because we read these books, like, sometimes when I'm watching a rom-com, I think these things in my head. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, because when you're watching it, like, the tension is there, but you're not in their heads.
Right?
Yeah.
Imagine, like, okay, for the amount of time you read, how awkward it would be in real life. Because there's some books that I'm reading, I'm like, how does she even have the time to think all this before she answers him back?
Yeah, it's definitely, like, happening within seconds.
Yes.
It's just that it's like a moment in the moment. Sells.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? When I first started reading romance novels, I had to get used to that. Yeah. Because at first I was like, I did not understand it. Like, I just imagined two people, like...
standing this close.
Like this.
And then literally. The thoughts in their head.
No, but why does like Robert Pattinson actually act like that in Twilight?
Wait, literally.
He just stares. They just stare at each other.
No, wait, they actually do that. I feel like they took that way too literal. They took that way too literal.
Honestly, this is my... I'm sorry. I have to do a tangent. They played those parts exactly as they were written. You cannot blame the actor for bringing what the script hath brought.
No, literally. Water acting. Like, you could, like, literally, like, if you wanted to read the book while watching the movie, you probably could.
You could.
And, like, Robert Pattinson would pause for the length of time Edward is thinking. Anyway, a lot of inner monologue with Sloane and Xavier, but it was
so good.
So good. It was so good. So, they have their first kiss. Sloane kind of runs and is... You know, like, can't believe she did that.
Oh.
He's her client. She shouldn't be kissing a client.
Yeah, but literally the next day they get back together and they don't talk about it right away.
They don't talk about it for like a week.
For a week? Wait, that's when they have like the brunch?
I think it might be a week.
Okay.
Yeah, no, then they go to brunch. Okay. So after the kiss, whatever, Xavier is kind of like, it's interesting. He's the king of sloth, and yet he is a very determined man.
He is. That's why I feel like if she made him too slothful, like, he wouldn't be desirable, like, that much, you know?
Yeah.
So he was the king of sloth.
I think that's
and
what
like
it is.
he literally like first page of the book, that's what he is, and then immediately like this is like the beginning of his journey out of slothfulness.
I think it's so perfect that it happened this way.
Yeah.
It needed to happen this way, because if he would have been king of sloth for half the book, I think I would have been like, oh my god, I'm so over this guy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So anyway, he's determined to make Sloane date him. And I can't remember if they decide to date before or after the brunch, or if the brunch was him trying to convince her.
On the brunch, right?
He's trying to convince her.
Yes, because he's like, go on a date with me, and she's like, no.
Oh, literally, they're trying to come up with a business plan, and they go to lunch.
Well, yes, because they're trying to come up with a plan. It's like 11 a.m. And he's like, let's have lunch. She's like, it's 11
a.m.
And
That's
she's
right.
like, and then he's like, let's have brunch.
That's
Which is like, he's so me for that.
Yeah.
And then they're at the brunch, the business brunch, and he's like, well, you can't have brunch without mimosas. I'm like, you and me will be friends.
It's like one of the best parts in the book, honestly. Sloane's, I guess, ex at this point, or situationship that she was in, comes up. And, like, Sloane is just so heartless.
Oh my god, yes.
She literally tells him, like, can you not take a hint? Like, we broke up.
Yeah, like,
you're embarrassing yourself.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
And she even says, like, when he tried to get us a weekend vacation on an Airbnb, a bed and breakfast, I was like, boy, bye. No. She's like, we're done.
Yeah. Love her for that. And then Xavier is, like, at the brunch, and he's literally like, you heard her, you can leave.
Yes!
Best part of the book is the 2 months.
The 2 months that they... Yeah, so he wants to date her. She doesn't know about it, so they do this 2-month trial period where they're dating. And this man shows up. Yeah. He shows up in every way. Like, he's just 1,000% down for her.
No, it's so crazy. Like, the first date
he does for her is a dream date, and it's literally on Halloween. Wait, I wrote down this quote. Can I read it?
Yeah.
Okay, so the dream date is on Halloween, and that's not really that important, but it is because, like, he makes it so cute. He does it, where is it, on a rooftop? Yes, it's on a New York.
Yeah, I think it's in his townhouse on the rooftop.
It's on the rooftop of his townhouse, and he sets up like a huge screen and like every snack you could think of. Charcuterie, different flavored popcorns, like champagne, white wine, red wine, everything. Like it just sounds amazing. Like cushions and like super comfortable. And he sets it all up for her, and they watch a rom-com together, like a Halloween rom-com. And this is the quote. She says, "You would rather watch a rom-com about a witch and a plumber falling in love than attend a party with celebrities?" And he says, 100%, as long as I'm watching it with you. Come on. Okay, you know what? You know why I love him so much? Because quality time is like okay, obviously, like, I love all the love languages, honestly. Like, I'll take anything. But quality time is really, really, really important to me. And I feel like he definitely carves out, like, special time for her and makes her feel like such a priority in his life. And, like, I love that.
Yeah. No, he definitely does. I would love to have gone on that date.
I know.
That date sounded amazing. It was so
good.
cute. And I think she realizes it too. Like, she goes on that date and she's just like, damn. Mm-hmm. Like, he didn't come to play.
No, he did not come to play. Yeah.
But one of the moments is she gets a call that her sister is in the hospital. And her sister, well, at this point we know that Sloane is like not in contact with her family. She's only in contact with her sister. Mm-hmm. And the only way that she can talk to her sister is through the nanny.
Yes, ma'am.
So she gets a call from the nanny that the sister is in the hospital. The sister has like some disease or something where she gets like tired really fast. It's like it's called something, but I can't remember what it's called. And she gets a call that her sister's in the hospital while she's with Xavier. Xavier literally Fast and the Furious to the hospital. He dollars to the 3 cars behind me.
Pays $300 to each of the cars for them to drive in a different direction so that he could get out of where he is and drive her to the hospital as quickly as possible. When I tell you that I was shook. And then, like, she does a joke like, oh, you really keep way too much cash on you. I'm like, girl. Like, oh my God.
Wait, but he's always just shoveling cash out. Like, what does he have? Just a wad in his pocket? It's true. Like, it's kind of true. She's not wrong for that.
She's not.
Honestly, like, I related to Sloane so many times in this book because there were little things that he would do, and I question it, and then 2 sentences later, Sloane was questioning it. Like, literally.
She paid attention to the details.
Yeah, yeah.
And that part was so good. And then they're at the hospital.
Yeah.
And so basically, Sloane's sister stole her ex-fiance from her.
That's when we find out. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's when we find out. And the sister and the ex-fiance who are her sister's now pregnant with him, and like her whole family loves him, but she's estranged from her family. So they all are assholes to her. But anyways, that's her ex. She runs into them. And then her sister's like saying something to her like, well, still single because such a workaholic or whatever. Like, she's trying to diss her. And who comes up? Javier comes up, like, behind her and is like, hey, baby, it took me a while to park or something, whatever. He comes up and shows up. And then his sister is gagged. She's like, Javier, that's who you're with. Oh, girl, the sister's so gagged.
No, the sister.
Gabriella, what is it?
I don't know.
It's like
her
Gabriella
name.
or something.
I don't know her name, but she loses it. Yeah, you're so right. Oh my God, that part was so good. Like, it just shoves it in her face.
Yeah,
I loved it. Yeah, like, and not only her face, his face. Mm-hmm. Cause fuck that guy.
Yes.
Horrible.
But she loves her little sister, Sloane.
Yes,
she really loves her little sister.
She loves her little sister, and I love that she loves her little sister. I love that, like, little relationship.
It's so cute.
It's really cute the whole time.
And Javier understands.
No, like, he really understands. And then, well, we'll skip around, but he, later on, I guess maybe it's their second date. I think it's only their second date. He takes her to Queens and plans, like, a whole private meetup with the little sister.
With her and her little sister, because her sister has a caretaker, so he plans it all out. And, like, sneaks them out so they can go meet with him. And
another Easter egg. He sneaks them out using Christian Harper's security team. Christian Harper is from Twistedlove.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, because he's in the other book, too.
He's in a lot of them. Dante Russo.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. That's crazy. I didn't know he had his own book.
He does have his own book.
Okay, I need to finish the Twisted series. And I love how, because she explains it, how he did the research and like tried to like do something for his sister that like she would like. So she loves soccer and they play like soccer video games. Yeah, and he just treats her like a normal kid, even though he makes sure to do stuff that she could definitely enjoy and do. Like, he's so thoughtful. Yeah. And like, he knew it would mean a lot to her because she loves her little sister. Like, that's like the best thing that he could have done for her. Yeah. Like, he wants to see her happy. He just wants her to be happy.
It's so cute.
It's so cute. Good. It's so good.
And then, like, dude, there were moments in this book, too, where I thought, like, conflict was going to come up. and it doesn't come up because Xavier is really scared of like messing something up ever since like his mom. We learn about his mom and the fact that she died in the fire, and he feels like it's his fault. And even his dad makes him feel like it's his fault. His dad was shitty for that. Like that was bad.
That's horrible.
Yeah. And
He's
so
9 years old, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So Xavier's like always nervous about that. And when the pictures get leaked of that date, and that's how the parents find out that Sloane was seeing the sister, Xavier's like really worried that like Sloane's gonna blame him.
Yeah.
And he feels like it's his fault.
Yeah.
And she literally doesn't. She's like, that wasn't your fault. Like, you tried to do something nice, and my sister had so much fun that day.
You're so right.
I was like, that is so cute.
No, and I think that she totally understands him. And there's other parts of the story where he does something wrong, and like she understands his true intentions, and that like he didn't mean anything.
He wasn't trying to get them caught.
She really gets him. That's so true, and like that's like really what like real love is like sometimes. You know, like I love it. I love it.
It was cute. So I feel like so much happens in this.
And the hotel dates.
Girl.
Girl.
Oh, I forgot about the hotel date. He rents out the whole hotel.
Like the entire hotel for them.
And they have the whole rooftop, and they go skinny dipping. I forgot about that.
That's if you could rent out an entire hotel so literally not a soul is there, and you can go skinny dipping.
Why not?
Why not? Okay, I do it.
They're eating Thai food. They're on the
And he
roof.
orders, like, I love when he says, like, I didn't know what you would like, so I ordered you everything. I'm like, I like everything. I want to try everything. I want to try it all. Like, yes.
Yeah.
Give me.
Thank you.
I know. I love it. And he got, I don't know why this, like, stood out to me, but I was literally eating pineapple fried rice when he gave her pineapple fried rice, and I was like, okay, we're twins right now.
She even says it's like in the pineapple.
Yes.
Like, he went all out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so cute. Damn, that was a good date. There were a lot of good dates in this book.
So many.
Oh man.
He went all out for her.
Yeah.
I feel like Javier loves hard. He does.
What do you think about the whole thing where like Sloane can't cry?
You know what stereotype she was? She was Cameron Diaz in The Holiday.
I haven't seen that. I need to watch it. I know. Okay. Let's talk about Xavier's interactions with his silent partner, because, you know, no one will invest in just Xavier by himself, so he needs to get a silent partner. And he decides to get a literal silent partner. Vuk.
Yes.
Vuk.
Vuk.
Is it Vuk?
Oh.
Vuk or Vuk?
I don't know.
Are you intrigued?
I am so intrigued, and I'm so excited to hear his story, because at the end we find out that he is going to be the lead character for
King of Envy.
King of Envy. Mm-hmm. And we've met the
girl
in this book too.
Yes.
Her name is Ayana.
The model.
And she's a model. And she sounds so cute. So, like, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited because, like, she goes to Sloane for help because she's basically, like, either in some sort of weird... She's engaged, but it's weird. Like, she's in a weird situation, and, like, she doesn't really want to be engaged. And Sloane literally tells her, like, to follow her heart, and, like, is trying to even give her advice.
You have to, like, do what's right for you. And then Ayana's like, oh, he's done so much for me. So she's engaged. But then this guy, Vuk, whatever, he... doesn't speak at all. Mm-hmm. He only writes down on paper.
Yeah. And he has like marks
on his neck. And then they call him the Gurk.
Yes, he's the Gurk.
We don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means at all. But
Gurk.
Yeah.
Like a gherkin. Oh, because
like,
is he salty?
Oh, a pickle.
Like a pickle.
Mm-hmm. But a gherkin's like a little cute pickle.
He doesn't sound little.
So maybe it's because he's not well hung. We'll see.
No,
she would never write that. She would never write that.
Anyway, yeah, so I'm super excited about that, and we get a little taste. I love when you get a little taste of the next book's character in the current book.
Me too, I love that.
Oh my god, and weren't you saying, because like you get more of a taste of like Kai in this book?
Yeah, I almost liked Kai's character better in this book than I did in his own book, which is kind of crazy. I don't know why. He seemed like cool and like helpful in this book.
Yeah.
The last book he just seemed like ugh, annoying. I don't know.
Yeah, but I liked Kai in KingofWrath too.
Me too.
So just not in his own book. Why?
I don't know.
Pride is a hard one.
It is a hard one.
Yeah.
It's like...
How did I like Sloth better than Pride?
Me too, girl. Me too.
Xavier's on this journey to open this club, and he's the CEO, and he's really getting things done, and he's working really well, and things are happening for him. He gets like this space. It's in a vault. That's like the vibe of the club. It's very vaulty and like a vaulty, like it's giving Gringotts.
The vault. Why does that completely change what I thought the vibe was, though?
Giant. He says there's like a giant steel vault there. Like all I thought was Gringotts. Like
you're right
in my head. And then Vuk, whatever, comes to do a walkthrough, and while he's there on the walkthrough, the place like lights on fire.
Oh yes.
And do you remember this? And
yes.
He saves Vuk's life and gets them out of there.
Yeah.
Out of the fire, which was like crazy because how has this happened to this man twice now?
Right.
He's been in 2 fires.
2 fires, and so yes, the fire happens, and it kind of like, but it like triggers his past traumas, and he immediately, the fire happens, and all he sees is that people could have been unalived, and he is like re-traumatized, and he's just thinking it's not even worth it to go through with it at that point. He wants to give up. He sees himself as a failure, and he's going through all the emotions.
Yeah.
And that's when
Sloan shows up.
We get the 3rd act breakup. My favorite part of
this
every
one
book.
was hard to read because Sloan shows up and she's so worried about him. Like she springs into action. She gets there. He's in the emergency truck and she is so me in this moment. Like just problem solving mode.
Yes.
Action mode, because if something bad happens to me, I'm not a wallower. I need to like have a plan before I can wallow. And Sloan gets there and she's like, what are we gonna do to get it open? We can do, you might have to compromise on this, but we can still do it. And no one died. Everything's fine. We can spin it this way in PR. Like she's telling him everything, and I think it overwhelms him a little bit.
Yes, definitely.
And he kind of, I don't even remember what he says to her, but I just remember it being like hard to read.
Yeah.
Just sad.
He basically says, well,
That
not
he's not
everyone
gonna do it.
like I can't do this. I can't put innocent people's lives at stake. Not everyone could just go around not caring like some people or like you basically. And literally her ex told her that she had no feelings and that he couldn't be with her, and like use that as a valid reason of why it was okay for him to cheat on her, with her own sister, which it obviously wasn't. But so she's been told that before, and like by somebody who's really bad for her. So hearing it come from his mouth, the man that she has loved, like that must have been so hard for her. And then even after that, she still understands that he didn't mean it, and that he was just lashing out because it was in the moment and he was upset. Like,
no, Sloan is like a really rational human.
Yeah.
Like she's really rational and self-aware.
Yeah.
I love that about her. Like she's probably my favorite female lead so far, actually.
I love her.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have to go through all that BS of like, well, I didn't mean it, whatever. Like, he's like, I didn't mean it. And she's like, I know you didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They still break up though. Oh. It's Sloan who does it, right? Like she can't. Yeah, she can't like.
She's self-sabotaging the relationship.
Yes, because something so traumatic happened to her in the past. Oh, wait. Let's talk about how her ex comes back all of a sudden and is like, oh, your sister is being mean to me.
Yeah.
And I want you back.
Like, what? Like,
in what world?
In what freaking world?
And then Xavier goes to the club, which is like the step down, or like 2 steps down from the Valhalla club. And he goes in, and they're like, oh, what are you doing here? Like, Valhalla kick you out? He's like, actually, no. I'm here to see you. And he just clocks him in the face.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Oh, my God. That
so
was
good.
so good.
I love that. Good. Also, like, what a terrible band.
Yeah, horrible family. Because then the sister
Horrible
comes in and yells
sister.
at Sloane.
Yeah.
And then Sloane recorded their conversation and plays it for the sister.
Uh-huh.
I just can't.
She's horrible.
Yeah, horrible. Pretty bad. And, like, no redemption. This is the thing I like about AnaHuang. When there's a bad person, there is no redemption. And I don't need redemption for them. I don't need redemption for the sister. I don't need redemption for the ex. Let them...
They stink.
Yeah.
They suck.
Yeah.
Boring. Bye.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm trying to remember now how Xavier, after that fire truck, like, after that fire and, like, that Sloane comes to find him, how he regrets it almost immediately, and then he's like, no, I have to fight for Sloane. And he goes to her house, right?
So basically this is what happens.
Yeah.
So she leaves him. Okay, so basically they leave off after he's super rude to her, with her saying, okay, let me just give you some time, and they don't talk for like a week. And he's basically moping, and he's like super sad,
And she cries for the first time, right?
and she cries for the first time, and it's like around Christmas, and she's gonna be like alone because Vivian is somewhere, and like, you know, Isabella's gonna be somewhere with Kai, and she just needs some major cheering up. So all of her friends come and surprise her on Christmas.
It was really cute.
And like the girl moment is so cute there.
Yeah.
And
the girl moments in these books are so cute.
So cute. And while she's there,
Yeah.
who is at the bar of Valhalla getting drunk and pitying himself? But Javier.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Kai gives him great advice. Basically tells him to stop pitying himself and that to do something about it.
Yeah.
And he gets great advice from so many of like the past leading men too. Alex Volkov gives him great advice at one point too.
Dude,
so shout out to that.
Yes.
But that's when I feel like Javier really you made me change it. Javier really has his like altering moment where he's like, I need to go to her right now. Like, what have I been doing? I'm wasting time. Like, this needs to happen right now. Like, I can fix this. So he decides that she's his like first priority, and he goes like straight to her. It's the day after Christmas. He goes to her apartment. He's ready to do anything to get her back.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I know. She doesn't want to be with him.
She does, but she self-sabotages.
I know.
And
it's so sad.
She says, like, she's like, no. She literally pushes him out the door and slams it in his face.
He stays.
I know.
He stays there.
But he tells her, if there's any chance.
Yeah.
Or, like, if you change your mind at all, meet me. Oh, wait, this is, like, later, though, when he says this, right? Or is this now?
It might be there. I think it might be there.
Okay, he says, if there's any chance, meet me on the top of the Empire State Building at midnight on New Year's Eve.
I can't.
Which is like classic rom-com.
It's classic rom-com.
Yes.
Rom-com.
It's classic rom-com.
But it's also like impossible probably, but we'll just ignore that.
Dude, I would not be wanting to stand there for hours. You know how windy it is probably?
On New Year's Eve in the middle of winter.
Everything? On New Year's Eve, like
in the middle of winter on New Year's Eve to go into the city where it's one of the biggest New Year's Eve celebrations in the world. Come on, man.
Yeah, no. That sounds awful.
I mean, they're rich. Like, they're living in a different life,
world.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
Oof. Anyways.
But yeah.
So
it's a big commitment.
Yes.
I do love all the nods. Like, you brought up the holiday, I guess. But, like, I did know a lot. I, like, noticed a lot of nods in this book to rom-coms.
Yeah,
and
I love that.
Super cute because she loves rom-coms.
Yeah, our main character loved rom-coms, and I think our main girl, AnaHuang, also definitely probably loves all the rom-coms because she's always referencing them, and I always catch it.
Yeah. Even when he tells Sloane to meet him at the top of the Empire State Building, if there's a chance, she goes, "Are you sleepless and Seattling me?" Like, she literally says it. Yeah.
And at first, like, when I first started reading her books, like, I would read certain lines and things and be like, she stole this from that. And then I'm like, after a long time, I was like, oh, she's just referencing all the rom-coms that she likes. Yeah. Like, these are her books.
Yeah,
It's Ali Huang's world, and we're just reading in it. It's actually so cute.
So the time is passing. She's deciding if she's going to meet him at the top of the Empire State Building. Mm-hmm. And I think she's like counting down the hours. She doesn't know if she's going to go or not. And when she finally decides that she's going to go, it's like an hour before or something.
Yeah.
I'm reading it, and the whole time I'm like, oh, she's not going to make it. She's not going to make it. Mm-hmm. And she does encounter obstacles that make her not late, just on time.
Yeah.
Like, she gets there right at 12.
Uh-huh.
And she goes up and looks around, and he's not there.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, there's no way he left. It's literally 12 on the dot.
But he said that later that he was waiting for hours.
He was waiting for hours, but like when she gets up there, there's a moment where she doesn't see him, and it's because he was helping an old little couple get to the elevator. Yes. Like, it was so cute, but like, I was like, man, like I just thought there was gonna be something more dramatic. I was like, wow, she like struggled to get there through the city, to not even get there late, to get there on time. Whatever, it's fine. And then
she starts like sobbing.
She starts sobbing into him, which, you know,
it's like I feel like it's all of the emotions that have been pent up for so long, like finally coming out, and like just her finally being able to like be vulnerable, because that's her whole struggle, is like with like falling into the romance, is that she doesn't want to open up and be vulnerable.
Yeah,
and
she doesn't want to get hurt.
So when she finally makes the switch and decides that I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna put my heart on my sleeve, and I'm gonna go out here and be with him, like, and then he's not there, like that whole thing happens, like it just all comes out. It all pours out of her.
And then he's still there.
He's there for her.
And then he's still there, and he just left for a second.
I know, and he holds her.
And he holds her, and she feels safe. And it's like really, really the cutest thing. And then, we have to talk about when he tells her, is this after? Like, so now this happens, is that kind of the end? Oh, no, because then the club opens, right? Yeah. The club opens, and it goes well. Oh my gosh. And the fire, we find out from Alex, who is like, you know, a mastermind, that it was sabotage.
Yes.
And we don't know who it was.
Yeah, like
we don't even find out.
When are we're gonna find out in like another book or something.
I need to find out like who it was.
No, she's setting that up, like for sure.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to find out who.
I think it's gonna be like something
was.
That in the next book like comes up again, and that's gonna be like, this was a clue.
I'm assuming that the club will still be a thing in the next book, because it's Vuk, and he's the silent partner. Yeah. So he has stuff to do with the club.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll come up in the next book. Can we talk about the reason why Xavier calls Sloane Luna?
Oh, the declaration of just love at the end is so good.
It's good in this one.
And I love that reveal. Yes. Okay. Say.
Well, okay. I honestly don't believe that Sloane didn't Google what Luna meant.
No, she knows what Luna meant, but I think she just didn't know why he would call her that. Like, I think she just thought it was like a cutesy thing that he was doing.
So you think she knew he was calling her Moon?
Like,
because when he explains it, he says Luna means moon.
Okay, like that's like if you literally don't know, but like if I hope she knows. Like I feel like even if you speak English, most people know that, you know. So
okay. Well, anyway, it was so freaking cute when he tells her that his whole life was night. And she's the moon.
And even in his darkest times, like, she's always been there. Even at the beginning, even when they first met and whatever he was going through, she was always his light. And that's why for so long, for literally since the beginning of the book and more, he's been calling her Luna. Because she was always the one. Like, she was always it for him.
Literally.
Such a good declaration of love. I'm so happy that they ended up together. Like, that way. It was great.
I feel like we started this book with Xavier already in love with Sloane.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was fine with that.
I was fine with it too. I did not need the build-up. I loved it. It was perfect.
Okay, most swoon-worthy moment.
Okay, most swoon-worthy moment. This was a hard one.
Yeah.
There was a lot. And I loved them all. However, I think I'm going to have to pick the moment, the date that he takes her on when he meets up with her sister. And I just feel like there's a lot of things that happen on that date that make Sloane realize that he's in this for real. Like, it's not just a game to him. Like,
yes.
He really knows what's important to her, and he's trying to make an effort. And it's a genuine effort. Like, he's not just playing with the little sister just to play with her.
Yeah.
He actually enjoys it. And you can see that it makes Sloane happy to see the little sister happy. So it makes him happy to make the little sister happy. And then there's a moment in that scene where, like, Sloane goes to the bathroom and the little sister is like, so, do you love my sister?
Yes.
And he doesn't say no. He doesn't say yes either. But he obviously, like, does love Sloane. Mm-hmm. And it's just like a cute, whole, well-rounded moment. And that's my swim-worthy moment. What's yours?
Mine is so filthy compared to yours.
I love that. We got the opposites. Go.
Okay. Well, there's a point where he comes to visit her in her office. And he's like, let's go to lunch. And he says, let's go to lunch. And Sloane says, I'm not hungry yet. And he says, I am. Closes the door. And you already know what he does. Come on, baby. This book had actually my favorite spice from this entire series so far. My favorite spice. I actually like the spice. And, okay, there's another point way earlier in the book where they're on vacation. Mm-hmm. And he makes a cocktail just out of random stuff. And he's apparently really good at making cocktails, which is foreshadowing because he ends up owning a bar. Anyways.
Oh, right.
He's making her a cocktail. And she asks what he made, and he's like, I'm going to call it the Sloane. Ooh. And she's like, but you don't know what I taste like. And he's like, not yet. Amazing book. I'm so excited to see what happens with the next couple. And, like, it felt like such an amazing revisit to all the characters that we've seen in the series so far.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of everybody.
No, this book had so many Easter eggs. It had Easter eggs even, well, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but it had Easter eggs from AnaHuang's first book ever. Farah, the interior designer, was there. They mentioned Legends, which I know you didn't read these books, but like Legends is a bar that one of the original characters from her first book opens in New York, and it's like a famous sports bar. There were so many Easter eggs in this book. It's exactly what you said. It felt like a finale, but it's not.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if she's just like bringing them back up and she's going to keep doing it. I love it. So I don't mind it. But yeah, so this book was super good, very enjoyable. 4s. That's a pretty high score.
This was the highest score for me so far in the series.
So I think that's it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Swoonsisters Society, the podcast where two sisters discuss the swooniest moments that happen in movies, TV shows, books, and
real life.